Stolarz has not played well. Now, I was watching the game, and all of a sudden he's not there. I don't know where he got hurt, because did he get hurt at giving up a bad goal to Steves? Because that's
the
I
concern.
didn't like that.
I mean, the way Berube answered it after the game would suggest it's, he said it's not serious, and he was asked, do you think he can play Thursday? And he said, I hope, I think. If you can play Thursday, how can you not play the final 40 minutes
maybe
of the game?
Cramping or something. The only thing I think about is they didn't want to pull him 2 games in a row. Would that be 2 games in a row?
That would have been 2 games in a row against the same team, Noodles.
Yeah.
So what did they do? They go to him and say, you're cramping, we're not pulling you?
No,
I don't understand
I don't
that.
know. Or he said, hey, I'm not playing. I don't know. I mean, who knows with the Leafs? Like the problem is the Leafs are never going to be completely transparent with anything.
Yeah.
Upper body, lower body, you have no idea. But the fact is, when he did play, it was bad. The 2 of the 3 goals were terrible goals.
Yeah, and the thing is, he made the one huge save early on. I was like, okay, this guy's rocking. Like, it was a windmill save, the glove save, and then a windmill. I'm like, okay, he's rocking. And then it just kind of, bounce off the skate, the Zaka one. That's a tough play. But, outside of that, you got to be better. And you put the Hildebeest in, and they still kept giving up chances.
Well, Pasternak starts the
Johnny's
second.
talking about breakaways, saying, they gave up 4 the other night. Oh, Pasternak on a breakaway. I'm like,
Jamie,
my God.
That guy must think, I said last night, that guy must think this is some kind of skills competition. He played against Carolina, and all he sees is breakaways. He had 5 breakaways against Carolina, and then these ones last night. It was insane. He must be just thinking, what kind of joke of a league is this where a guy gets in? It's supposed to be so hard to get a breakaway in that league, and teams are doing it for fun.
And
How many
Morgan
breakaways
Riley
have you seen the Leafs
Jake
get on?
McCabe on the ice to start those are your 2 vets that you trust.
I don't know what's wrong with Jake McCabe, guys. He's highly respected. He's a veteran that competes.
Yep.
He's playing as bad as he possibly could right now. Mm-hmm. I've never seen him play like this. In all the times I've watched him throughout the league. He can't pass. He can't defend. He's positionally out of whack. It's tough sledding for him. There is no doubt, man.
But we're seeing it. It's weird. It's hard. We're talking about the Leafs, but I'm watching teams every night and going, that guy's a better player than what I'm seeing. And, you're seeing it from – not just the Maple. I'm seeing it throughout the league in the games I watch. There's players that you're like, okay, that kid's arrived. This guy and this guy. Oh, Father Time's coming.
Okay, but I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm not going to get soft. It's the National Hockey League, and when training camp starts, you're expected to go.
You're
what is
right.
it? It's shortened training camps. Little guys are a little bit fuzzy. You're hearing it throughout the league. What the hell is it going to be next year when there's no fitness testing? It might be a sideshow out there. Mitchkov claimed he didn't play hockey for 4 months. 4 months, and he just didn't do anything. What? I don't know. Big leagues, when the puck drops, got to be ready to go.
100%. There is no – what I'm doing, I'm not making excuses for them. I'm making an observation as to, my expectation coming into the season, how I wrap my head around how I view a certain team and how I view a certain player, of what I expect out of that player. There's a standard. And I can look. You can look through that Toronto Maple Leaf dressing room. There's new players that I don't know what their standard is. I don't know what Michelli's standard is. I don't know what
I do.
Joshua's standard is.
I do.
Well, there is a standard that we expect out of NHL players. What I'm saying is, from what we've watched of, name me a player on the Leafs that's been there for 3-4 years. Are they playing to their standard? I would say no. That's what I would say. And that's throughout the league, a lot of teams.
I would say maybe Matthew Nyes and John Tavares. And Tavares isn't even 100%. He made some plays last night where that were just horrendous.
Well, listen, they all get dragged down. You get dragged up or dragged down by your product. But there is a standard for some of these guys that they're not living up to it. And I don't know how you get out of it. I think it's easy for the coach to come in and kick a garbage can and say, you got to be better. You got to do this and that. Systematic play. But they look like they're thinking out there. They're second on every puck. They're losing battles. They look slow and deliberate sometimes instead of fast and popping type of thing. And that's not just one player. That's a bunch of them to a group type of thing. And so I think they get an opportunity. LA's no slouch. They're a good team.
No, that's it. And then they're in Chicago on Saturday. And Chicago's been really good. So, listen, it's only going to get more difficult. Berube's got to figure it out. We've always talked the chicken or the egg, who's responsible for a hot start. or a slow start. And generally, you guys have always said in the pros, it's on the players. Like if you're a professional athlete, you have to be ready to play. You just said it, but they didn't have a great camp. They haven't had a great start. They look disjointed. Like Berube's got to figure it out. He's got to figure out why they're playing this way, because the neutral zone again last night. It's a fast pass lane for every opponent. Like I've never seen anything like it. Every opponent's like they don't even get touched. Yeah. It's breakaway, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, and the way I see it is they're dumping it in, and they don't get there, and the transition for the opponent is so easy that there's just too many guys in no man's land. And
well, here's the problem: if you're dumping it in and you're not fast enough to get there, that means maybe you should think about changing the philosophy to carrying it in and making plays. But when you're not good enough to do that, you got a serious problem.
Well,
so it might be a personnel problem.
That's where the GM comes into play. But the reality is, in 2025, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's no. You can't call Calgary up and say, let's make a 10-player trade. Doug Gilmour's not walking through the door. Yeah. It doesn't happen.
The other side of it is, in 2 weeks is kind of Judgment Day, where you decide what you are in the National Hockey League. It's been like that forever. I don't need 2 weeks to tell you that this team's going to turn it around. And on that Thursday, I'm going to look at you guys and say, these guys are one of the real deal teams. It's not happening. It's not changing.
It is. You're right. It just. This team won 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row. Are they somewhere in the middle, which is still kind of good but not great? Or are they that's what I'm still trying to figure out is what is this group? Even when they're playing to their capabilities, what is the group? I think they're struggling to find their identity as a group.
Jamie, my follow-up to that is always, what is their identity? If they were playing to their best, you guys can combo this. If they were playing to their identity, what exactly would that be? Tell me.
Brian, you want to go first? You want me to jump?
Well, I mean, it used to be, a puck possession.
I'm not talking about
I know, I understand that.
I'm not trying to be a dick.
But this is why, but I guess this is the answer. They don't have one. It's a rhetorical question. They don't have one. Because it used to be under Keefe, and it didn't work come playoff time and all that, was, they would have a roster of players that held on. We always talk, hey, there goes Pierre Engvall circling back. There goes Timothy Liljegren back behind his net to slow it down. That's the system they played. Now, I guess Craig Berube, I'm sure what he wants is them to look like the 2019 Blues. He won the Cup with that style, with that team. They don't have that personnel. They don't. So to answer your question, last year the identity was high-end goaltending and high-end talent that could break through and they'd score a lot of goals. That was kind of what it was.
Well,
but even skilled players,
stingy, though, Brian,
they were stingy to an extent. They were. The goaltending masked a lot of it, and it still can. That's the biggest, the most glass half full proposal I can make to a fan base. Now, Stolarz is an incredibly dark place right now. Ever since the comments, and now he's been pulled twice. It's a mess for him. It's a real problem. And I don't know what Joseph Woll is going to return to because he's missed so much time. I think it's just unfair to put an expectation on it. I think it's unreasonable to know exactly what he's going to be.
He's played a game and a half.
Exactly. And missed camp. And how many times have we talked about that? When you miss camp and you miss the start of the season, it's jumping on a moving train. It's very tough to do. But if they can get back to a top 10 tandem, which is what they had consistently last year, that's going to mask a lot of problems. That's the easiest way out to at least allow yourself to breathe.
Well, it gives you some consistency in the net where you're like, okay, you make a mistake and the goalie will bail you out. We saw a lot of that last year. What I meant, Brian, about them being a stingy team is that 6th defensive core was heavy. They moved pucks, but they, to a man, I think Craig Berube had them playing forwards coming back, tracking back, allowing the D to have good gaps. So they were stingy, and then when they did have a breakdown, that's where the goaltender masked it. This year, the breakdowns are glaring, and the goaltending isn't masking it. And the forwards are disjointed with the D, and the D are disjointed with the goaltender. It just doesn't look like it's consistent. And, I've had people reach out to me and say, well, The Mitch Marner effect. Well, Mitch Marner, yes, was a very good defensive player and a very good puck transporter. Johnny's talked about it all the time. His zone entries, their power play looks different because who's lugging the puck up.
Yep.
When you do the slingshot drop back, it was always Marner that got the entry, and he flipped it out to Matthews, and then he got it back and he set it up. It's a different team. I get it. But at some point, the players that are there still have to step up and find different ways. And I still think they're struggling to find their consistency with that. Like I say, Nyes is at a good start. Matthews, iffy, up and down. Nylander does what he does. Tavares does what he does. But it's off of that, it's a cliff. Like, it really is a cliff. Like, that's and that's what's concerning is John Tavares is 35. You expect him to be a really good support guy, not to be a guy to drag them through stuff.